Okay. We will call the meeting of the Irvington Architecture Review Board to order. As is usually the case, we will start with continuations to move on to new applications. Tonight we have two continuations on the agenda. However, only one has submitted new materials, and that would be ARB 21-98. After this continuation, we'll go on to new matters. Any raising their hand for 50 Half Moon Lane?
If you're here to represent 50 Half Moon Lane, please hit the raise hand button.
Hello, all.
Hello.
My name is Tasos Kokoris. I'm the architect for the application of 50 Half Moon Lane. Can you hear me okay?
Why don't we? Yes, we hear you. You all right with that, sir? You hear him? Okay.
Can you hear us?
Can you hear us?
Absolutely. Yes, I can.
Okay. Why don't you share your screen and we can get going.
Let's see. I didn't expect to go first. I apologize. It'll take me just about 30 seconds to get the material up and running. Okay. Can you see my screen?
Sir.
Yes, I understand this is a review. Your board reviewed the preliminary drawings for this this home. Nothing has changed from the preliminary design. We basically used the preliminary drawings to generate the working drawings for the home. As I recall, our only discussion architecturally had to do with the rear elevation, and I can just go to that quickly, which was the center element of that elevation. There we go. If you can see my cursor, it's this element right here. The original preliminary drawings had a barrel vault, a curve, which I wasn't 100% resolved with. It looked a little bit weak and a little bit unnatural. So I decided to go back to a gable form, which is kind of meets with the rest of the design, I think a little more appropriately. And I added an oval window. So that's the only thing, as I recall from our last meeting, that you had wanted to review.
That's what I recall as well, that there was one architectural feature in the rear of the house that we were concerned about.
Correct. That's the only one that we were discussing. If you like, I can bring up the preliminary elevation, which has that the barrel vault, so we can compare. Let me go to
It would
that.
be good for our memory, only because it's been a while.
Of course, yes. All right, I have that here. Let me. Of course, the other issue is the fact that CAD drawings are a little bit challenging visually. My preliminary drawings have a little more. Let's see, here it is. Do you see the color drawings? Good. The rear elevation, the original rear elevation was this that you had seen. And as you can see, the middle element does not seem quite resolved. So that's why I decided to repeat the gable motif with and added an oval window in it.
Everybody can call it? Okay.
Should I revert to the working drawings?
Yes, please. I have a question about the windows above the or under the eave. But they
Sure.
just,
Let me
different things.
stop sharing that and now share the working drawings. There we go. Okay.
So with the three, or at least the one, two, going from the right, the second and third eaves both have the different windows above the windows that or
Right. Well, you know, one of the elements of this particular architectural style, the shingle style, one of the elements that makes it interesting is that there is variety. It's not like a formal Georgian or a formal colonial where symmetry becomes critical. This style kind of lives on variety and sometimes too much symmetry kind of kills the mood, so to speak. So I played around with different materials and different arrangements, and I think there is a general sense of symmetry, but there's also a lot of variety, which I think is a good mix. That's why the window on this gable, for example, you know, I do have a window, and this one has instead of repeating the window, there is a projected bay for that bedroom, which also works internally as a window seat.
does the gable that was changed, or that gable was changed, is that on the same plane as the rest of the house, or does that jut out a little bit?
No, it's not. It does jut out. This element is cantilevered from the rest of the plane of the elevation, so it is more prominent.
How far does it protrude?
About I believe it's I want to say 3 feet. Let me just quickly check if you don't mind. Yeah, it's 3 feet right there. So you can see that this is a
Right.
flat elevation on this project out.
Okay. Did we get into the full feature, or is it something that was kept from the old house?
The swimming pool.
Yeah.
The swimming pool is basically a very, I think we have it, I don't have it on my architectural set, it's on the site plan, and I can pull that up for you. Let me see if I have it on my preliminary drawings. Yes, I do. Okay. Here we go. Let me see. No, sorry about that. I have too many windows open. Let me just close a few. Now we can. There we go. Okay, there you go. That's the. It's a design site plan in any case, but it's essentially a clean rectangle. We ran into, I'll keep this very, very brief. The surrounding property, all the surrounding properties are between 120 and 200+% over coverage. The planning board dictated that we should be under coverage. As a result, we had to condense all of the patios, swimming pool, driveway, which is why we did not allow for anything really around the pool. It's simply a pool, and I think we have enough coverage allotment to create a small path from the lower level over to the pool, but that's all we have. That's why it looks a little barren here.
Now, the pool, the fence that's around the property is essentially doing the job of a fence, a pool fence?
Not the whole thing. You'll see where my cursor is, we have a pool fence coming around like that over and back to the house. So the section of fence that's on the northern side, most of it does not count for a pool fence. It's only this part down on the west.
But that's fine.
That all new fencing or some of that existing?
All that fencing is new, or is it some of it existing?
I'll show you excuse me, if you can see my cursor from here to here is existing fence. The part that connects from this point back to the house and this portion and the portion that connects back to the houses will be new. This part and this part.
Do you have anything to show us that what that fence is going to look like?
It's going to be basically a pool compliant fence, vertical pickets, and I don't have a photograph. Let me see if there is one on the site plan.
What material is it?
It'll be an aluminum structure with either pickets to meet pool criteria, or my preference, which is a nylon covered, essentially a horse type fence with 2-inch by 4-inch openings. I think that's the least obtrusive visually. So I generally have posts every 5 or 6 feet, and then the wire fence to span the posts, so it's not climbable.
Unfortunately, because it's on the application, we have to review it. We have to approve it.
Let me, if you don't mind, I'll take only a few seconds. I won't take too long. Let me see if there is a detail on the site plan. Site. Okay, here we go. Yes, we have it. Okay, let me share that with you. Believe it or not, I'm kind of surprising myself how I can pull this up. I'm kind of a real dummy, generally speaking, but okay, here we are.
All we know is you look like a pro. That's all that matters.
It's all about looking like a pro.
That's right.
Yeah, this is the, yeah, you can see my screen, right?
Yes.
Okay, so yeah, unless there are objections, this is the fence that we will be constructing.
And you said it's aluminum, in what color?
Black aluminum fence, and we have a manufacturer, or I will check drawings and approve it or approve the equal.
It's on the drawing, so we said.
Is this the black aluminum picket or the other one that you're referring to?
No, this is the black aluminum picket. I was the other one that I've done in the past, and I'm remembering that this was already on the drawings, but this is the one we've committed to, and this is the one we will be doing.
Okay. You know what the gates are?
Yeah, you show on your drawing where the gates are, correct?
Yes, I do. Again, I'll go back to the drawing. Keep closing windows here. See. Okay. Yes, there's a gate here. And there's a double gate here for landscaping purposes.
No other gates, okay?
No other gates necessary. The rest of it, as you can see, hugs the perimeter. So all we need is one gate on one side and one on the other.
Double gate.
Double gate is what, 5 feet wide?
Yes. This one will be double. So it'll probably be a stationary panel and an operable panel so that they can get a mower through there.
Okay. All right. Any questions? Folks?
No.
Okay, I will, with no other questions from the board, I'll make a motion to approve. Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Good to go.
I can't thank you enough for taking the application early. Thank you so much.
Problem. Thanks, Sarah.
Bye-bye now.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Okay, so with the other continuation, not having the new matters. The first new matter is ARB 22-13, 8 Maple Street fence.
I don't see anybody here representing that application.
Really? I know you had another meeting to go to. All right, well, we can always call it back up. Let's move on to ARB 22-14, 2 Barney Park windows.
Hello.
At home, okay, I see.
Yeah, made it back to the office. Okay, John Malone, Ferguson Malone Architecture, representing Ray Honstein. This is an expansion of a project that was before you guys for an addition. And the expansion is basically replacing existing windows in the house that were not replaced as part of the base project. So the right. Sure. So this is the house that's in Barney Park. It is a shingle style, and this is the existing photos from before the addition, because the addition is not complete at the moment. But that design is in progress. So what we're doing is the windows that existing windows that are old, original leaky windows are being replaced with an insert window, which is a wood-based insert window that would not reduce the daylight amount by very much and does not really present itself as different. It's the Marvin wood insert window. And then so the design for those and the extent of it is indicated here. There's basically 3 window types that are being installed or proposed to be installed. And we're matching the divided light pattern that was in the existing windows. The only area where we're changing slightly is these existing small windows here did not have a divided upper light, but there are smaller windows in the house that did. So we just tried to match that condition to the extent possible. And so you'll see this is the windows that would be demoed. This is the existing condition here on the front elevation. And this is the proposed. So there would, in fact, there wouldn't really be any change in what was being proposed. This drawing is showing you the proposed addition that isn't complete yet, that's in construction right now. There's a few windows in the house that are not going to be new windows, and there are ones that I think this is the 2. It's basically these 3 in this portion of the house. This is the stairway, and the stairway has a very historic feel. It's a very interesting stairway, and this is in an existing bathroom. So the benefit of the window replacement here wasn't really worth the change. So those are the only three that weren't being replaced.
You're adding windows on the roof as well?
The roof windows were part of the other application, the skylights that are here. So those, the only portion of this application is actually the stuff that's circled, that's indicated as 12, revision 12. The rest of the new windows were approved as part of the original project.
I'm satisfied that that you're, emulating the existing windows with the new windows. It's always a plus with me. Any questions for anyone? No. Okay. I will make a motion to approve. Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you, John.
Thanks.
There is somebody here now for Amy.
Okay, we will go back to the first new application, 22-13, 8 Maple Street. For a fence. You don't look like Erica.
No, she's much better looking than me. You'll have to just take me, I guess, for the evening, guys. Hi, everybody. This is Francis O'Shea from 8 Maple.
Right.
You'll have to forgive me. This is my first ARB meeting, so I'm not quite sure what you want, but I'm happy to go.
Do you have any way to show us the application, what you've supplied?
Apologies. No, I only have I can bring it up online. It'll just take me a second unless Sarah has it there.
She doesn't have it.
Okay, just give me 1 second. I'm just pulling it up from the building department submissions. Am I able to share from my end?
Could be.
Yes.
Great, awesome. Just give me 1 second. All right, here we go. All right. Just pulling this up now. Share my screen. All right, great. So I'm sorry, you just need to walk through what we're proposing to do by the drawing. I see.
You were just.
Great, awesome. So here, here's the survey of the house, and I've marked in pink the areas that are being worked on. Just to start with, I'm sorry, but I misdrew the line. You can see on this survey where my cursor is filing, and I'll increase it. I had put it along this black line, but it would be replacing the existing wood stockade fence here. So it would just be slightly closer to the roadway than I've shown here. But we're applying for a replacement of an existing 6-foot stockade fence that's been there for about 50 years, I'd say. I had Steve King by, and he noted that he thinks his dad put it in. So it's done its job for sure. Our intention, our request before the board is to replace the existing 6-foot stockade fence with a new wooden fence of the same material, just a slightly different look. So right now it's a 6-foot stockade, and we'd like to replace it with a approximately 6-foot fence that's tongue and groove with a lattice work across the top. And then the two additions we were hoping to make were that I've noted here in black marker is a gate next to the driveway by the garage, so we can access the backyard from there. Right now you have to go around the garage and come in through this side area, so it's sort of awkward. And then also to put a gate from the front yard into the side porch area that you can see here. I placed this gate here.
Do you have anything on the application? Yeah, there we go. But we want to see what the fence looks like.
Oh, sure, no problem. So I marked the tongue and groove we're going for here. And
Zoom into that a little bit.
sure, no problem. I'm sorry, I can't really hear the person that's talking that well. But so this is from the brochure of the fence contractor that we're with Nomad Fence that we're looking to work with. So these would be what the panels look like along the majority of the fence. And we haven't finalized the gate, but it would just be of the same height and and look, and just work with the contractor to make sure that it worked. I have some pictures of the existing fence if that helps as well. So here's the existing fence in the front. Obviously, we're going to remove that ivy and try to drape it back over when we're done. Here's the front area where the small gate, where one of the gates would be in between the two pine trees in our front yard. And then here's a view of the existing fence. Somebody may have tried to let the other household members know what a shorter fence would have looked like through some DIY saw action. So that is slightly shorter. You can see the full stockade on either side there. And then this is the final view of the side. And then the area where the garbage cans and the recycling bin would be right about where the gate would be. The second gate.
That fence that's there is only 6 foot high. It looks higher.
I'd say roughly 6 foot because it's not exactly flat. I think it's a little taller on this downhill side than it is over here. But I measured it's just about 6 foot.
Okay, we don't have any more questions from the board. You did a good job of letting us know what it is you want to do, and as a result, I will make a motion to approve. Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor? Aye. We're good to go.
Thank you very much, everybody. Appreciate everything you do.
Tell everybody I said hello at the face meeting.
Yeah. Oh, it's going to be a doozy, everybody. Thanks so much.
Okay. So now we'll go on to another new matter, ARB 22-15, 16 Park Road, window.
John Malone, Personal Architecture. Hi, guys. This is for Lansfeld Thompson. This is a project that is currently in construction also. We were hoping to save an existing window in the house, and it's sort of beyond repair. And we're looking at at this point, we're asking to replace a single window associated with this bathroom renovation. But I just wanted to let you know that we do have a strategy to eventually update the windows throughout the house because they're in similar condition throughout. So so the house is on Park Road, and it is a sort of a Tudor built in 1920s. It has original windows that are divided with leaded mullions with small panes, and so they're very hard to correct. They're outswings, so they're really sort of beyond their useful life. but it's valuable. The main facade of the house is this one here that's from the approach from the driveway. And we think that it's valuable to the character of the house to make sure to maintain those divided light patterns. This is a living room here. This is an entryway, this is upstairs hall and rooms up there. So the strategy ultimately would be to, replace these in kind with a Marvin product that they basically can do a divided light that is insulated glass, and it can simulate that historic look, and the function will be the same. And then so this area down here in the house is the living room that faces the rear yard. So because that room faces that way, we would want the windows on both sides of that room, so this is the other side of the house, to also have the divided lights. And that would be the same in the master bedroom. But there are certain portions of the rear of the house where some of the windows associated with the kitchen have already been replaced without the divides. And this is the window in the bathroom that we were going to replace without the divided light. And we think that's a good solution. This side of the house is not really visible from the street or from anywhere. The cost of doing these divided lights is really exorbitant. So we're trying to limit it to just that area where we need them. You see, this is the view from the street. So again, we're not in front of you for any of these future replacements. I just wanted to give you sort of the context as to why we're replacing this one the way we are. And this one that faces the street again would be the only one that we would probably keep as divided. But anyway, the single window that we're looking for is in the plan here, part of the bathroom replacement. And the function of the existing window right now is a French outswinging casement that has handles that you push out like this, as opposed to cranks. And that is what we're replacing it with. And it's a relatively fancy window, relatively rare. That's the plan.
Question? Okay, we have no questions. I will make a motion to approve and ask for a second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you, John.
Thanks a lot.
Okay, moving along, we will go to ARB 22-16, which is a pool, 1 Hudson Road West.
That is me again, John Malone, First Malone Architecture, Representative Roberts. So this project is for a pool and fence on the Broadway side of the house at the corner of Broadway and Hudson Road West, if you guys are familiar with it. This is the house from Broadway. And what we've shown here is this fence, the pool fence that we're showing. There was a concern at various boards about whether it was visible to Broadway. And this is an existing deer fence that the new fence is being replaced in the location of that. So this is me looking over the wall. This is the condition without looking over, but that's putting the thing over. So here you can see on the street, in winter, there's a possibility that you would see that fence. I think the deer fence, the top of the deer fence is higher than what ours will be, but I think you can see potentially a little bit of it here. But the planting strategy that we have for the project is shown here. So this planting strategy is going to provide screening for the pool, but also make the fence not really visible from the street side. Again, that's kind of what is being proposed now, these skip laurels. So the fence is an aluminum fence with a single top rail, relatively simple. And then in terms of where it's located, there's it's located here, here, and here. And the fence here along the back is a replacement of an existing, not historic, but an older fence, which is a lattice fence, which matches the lattice system that's over here. Otherwise, in terms of the pool has a bluestone coping and a stucco finish on the inside. There's not, there's not a lot of other components to the pool that are visible.
There was not an existing pool there, John?
Yeah, there was no existing pool there. There was like some fountain stuff, little fountains in different areas, garden fountains. But yeah, the pool is the new piece. And in this area right now is like a jungle gym that's coming out.
Where's the pool equipment going?
Pool equipment is over here, just outside of the existing. There's an existing fence just outside of the existing fence there. So we did get a variance. It's hanging about 12 inches over where it's allowed. So we did get a variance for that. But it is the service side of the adjacent house, and they have a bunch of AC units within that setback over there. So I don't think there was a concern. So the pool equipment will be certainly screened from the street, but also it's screened from the neighbor and screened from the user.
That was my concern.
John, how big is the pool?
Oh my God, I don't know now. I think it's like a 15 by 30. So I think where we ended up. Or 16 by 32, somewhere around there.
Where's the rest of the 32? That looks square.
Oh, it's like, well, it's here to here. It's longer. Well, it's longer. I can look up the dimensions for you. I'm sort of spacing on that. Maybe it's actually on the other sheet. Hold on.
Yeah, it just the way and I was just curious what the setback was from the retaining wall on Broadway.
Oh, here it is. So it's actually 30 by 22. All right. That's its actual size. So this is the current pool design now. 30 by 22, and then the setback on the Broadway side, it's basically a 50-foot setback to the property line. I think you meant the wall, not the retaining wall, but the actual decorative wall that's that far away. Yeah. So yeah, it's about from the face of the wall, it's about 50 feet back.
And so the question I had was, when you go back and look at the Broadway view, that fence then will only run halfway in front? Is that what we're like? I'm looking at the expanse of the entirety of the house. If I was standing on Broadway, looking at the Broadway wall.
Right. This condition here.
So the fence would run from that furthest corner where the tree is to what, halfway?
It's running. Oh, sorry. It's running basically along this side, and it's not continuing to the left. So it's running from here to here, and then it's not continuing in this direction.
Okay. And the planting that you're doing will screen that fence?
Yeah, I mean, I think the way it is right now, it's very hard to see the deer fence that's there. Again, this is the same shot. I'm like trying to figure out this. I think maybe this post right here is the deer fence. The deer fence is at 8 feet and we're at 5 feet. So, based on the topography of there, our fence does not really stick above that. And then again, there's no evergreen planting in place there now. So what's happening is that within the fence, the planting is going to be improved to have the skip laurel, the evergreen, which is similar to what's down at the other end of the lot too. So I don't think there'll be any visual impact from the fence from the street side.
Okay. And just so I'm clear what you're saying, there's no deer fence that runs along the Broadway wall at the moment, correct?
I think
only-
there is
it only-
deer fence that continues. Hold on one second.
I thought it was only on the side of the property.
No,
Like
there's an
between the
existing,
neighbors.
there's an existing deer fence that runs all the way along this line here.
In the front, okay. I didn't see that when I.
I think it's
So there is-
very, yeah, there's one that's basically running all the way along this line here and then turning.
Okay, and that fence, I'm just trying to understand what you're doing. So that fence, how that deer fence is, how tall?
I think it's like 8.
8. And then what happens to that deer fence that runs in front once you put the pool fence in?
That we're eliminating it. We're letting the deer give a go. Because it's very hard to find a pool fence that will meet code requirement for pools and then also do a deer fence heist. So because we can't really do both. So there has to, you know, we have to
So they're
choose.
no longer gonna have a deer fence in along Broadway, that
Right.
entirety of
In
that
that-
run.
Right in that area. And I think, you know, the hope is that you know, the pattern of behavior won't change as a result. It's still a fence that has to get over and there's other stuff, other planting in the way that might act as a deterrent. That's our hope.
And I'm sorry to be so persistent on this, but I'm still not understanding what you're saying. So is the entirety of the deer fence along Broadway being eliminated, or?
No, we're the only change, right? The existing deer fence is remaining. And the only change is from this
Okay.
point here, which is basically the corner of the pool fence to this direction. So that's new. That's existing.
So only there, the existing deer fence comes out.
Right. Right.
Somehow, the rest of the deer fence will stay and
Right.
possibly connect to the pool fence. And what I'm driving at is I just want to make sure that when you're on Broadway across the street, lots of people walk around there, that you're not going to see this kind of awkward transition.
Oh, the
of two
transition,
different
okay.
fence-
So the transition, if you notice, is happening at TR 24 here, this tree. So again, we think that mass right there is going to be a good place for that to happen because you won't be able to read it as much. And it's actually happening right behind the trunk of tree 24.
Okay, and then the pool fence then that continues towards the pool, is there screening in front of that as well? Not on Broadway, but you know, on their property?
On their property, yeah, there's basically lower screening that we're showing, ilex along that. And the goal is to plant that out, but not to have it be, you know, an 8-foot barrier. That would just be like maybe plant out the bottom 36 inches or 42 inches of the fence.
Obviously, with the exception of the gate area.
Right, exception of the gate area.
Okay, and again, the reason I'm asking is if you're walking along Broadway and look over towards the house, you should be able to see that fence, correct? And that pool, because of the height. of-
Again, I think, you know, there may be from views from the corner down at Hudson Road, you may be able, wherever you can see into the yard now, you could potentially see into the yard. I think if you could see through the existing screening there. Again, this buffer here is relatively dense. Certainly in the summer, it's completely dense. So we hadn't shown any, we hadn't filled any holes in the buffer down this end because we don't really have a detailed understanding of what's in there. But there's a lot of shrubs in addition to the larger diameter trees that are shown here. But certainly basically from this point on, you will not have views from the street. Fence. But I mean, there might be some holes over here, Deb, or something. I'm thinking, I don't know.
And obviously this had to be noticed to the neighbor because and there's obviously been no objections, correct? I know the proximity of where the proposed pool is going in relation to the neighbor on Bertha Place, and I know that that's the back end of their neighbor's house. No concerns there, correct?
Right. No, we haven't
From the
had
neighbor?
any concerns from neighbors. I think most of the discussion was with planning board members about the you know, the buffering along Broadway, but there hasn't been any concern from, the neighbor to the north or any other neighbors. Again, in terms of the potential impact to neighbors, South Broadway is, there are people walking and running, but that's not there's not an adjacent property there. And then, the only real, this is Mercy to the south, and Bertha Place, the pool location is probably as far away from Bertha Place as it could be on the property.
Thank you.
Okay. Well, we've exhausted our questions. I will.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Thank you.
Thanks a lot, guys. Thanks for your help.
Okay, moving along, we have ARB 22-17, which is 61 Butterwood Lane West. It's a pool and a deck.
Hi, good evening. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Great. Good evening. My name is David. I'm working with the architect, Stephen Seacon Architects, for the application for 61 Butterwood Lane West. If I could, I'd like to share some of the drawings that we submitted.
Please do.
Share content screen. Why doesn't it let me do it? Hold on. Share screen. Start broadcasting.
You got it. It's coming.
It's coming. Can you guys see the drawings? Oh, wait, hold on. Here we go. Can you guys see the drawings now?
I can see them, yes.
All right, fantastic. Okay, so what I'm showing you here is our site plan, just for a point of orientation. We have Butterwood Road West towards the front of the property. This particular property has two fronts, just the way the zoning works for this property. So we're between Hamilton Road and Butterwood Road West. The existing house, basically we had the rear front, shall I call it, has an existing raised deck. And we are looking to add on to that raised deck and add an above ground pool. We've gone through the planning board and received our approvals. We've also gone through the zoning board and got our approvals as well. Some of the comments that came up were in regards to the landscape, providing some level of screening. So we did go and discuss this with the landscape architect, the town landscape architect, and we came up with some variety of some bushes that are being added, some Norway spruces and some cherry laurel that we're going to add to the corner of the property between Hamilton and the property. These are just to give you a sense what those particular plants look like. In elevation, this is what the deck would look like if we were looking at it from the southeast side. We're going to add some screening below the deck, and that screening would be a Trex lattice or composite material, and the rails and the railing system would be also a Trex system, a dark bronze aluminum color. And we're looking to do Trex decking, which is also a composite, and that would be a tiki color, an earthy color. We're not doing any work to the main house. We're not, so that would all remain existing, as well as the doors and windows. So you can see the existing portion of the deck is really this portion here. So we're just doing a couple steps down to to connect basically the pool to the house with a secondary deck or a two-tier deck that would come down. Let's see what else I got. So in plan view, this would be the existing deck. We're removing an existing stair that came from the rear yard to that deck. We're going to be keeping this portion also, which is existing as well. We had to shrink during the planning process. There was some conversation trying to bring us into the coverage closer within the percentage of allowable. So we did shrink our deck slightly to accommodate that. And we also added on, this would be the new portion of the deck with the attached above ground pool. So that's pretty much what we're trying to do.
With that new staircase, you still have access to that side of the house from the deck.
Yes, so you'd still at the same point of access, yes.
Can I just ask how large the two trees, the types of trees, the laurel and the Norway spruce are?
How's the height of them?
Right, what are you thinking?
We were saying anywhere between 5 and 6 and 8 for the Norway.
Questions? Okay. Yep. Okay, we don't have any other questions. Yes, yes, you said that. You've been through planning and zoning already, correct?
We did get our planning approval and we also got our zoning approval as well.
Okay, with that being said, I will make a motion to approve. Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Good to go. Thank you very much.
Thank you, guys. Have a great night.
Okay. Moving along, we'll go to ARB 22-18, 65 Havermeyer Road, an addition.
Good evening, members of the board. My name is Bill Witt. I'm the architect for this project at 65 Havermeyer, and I'm representing the homeowners, Sean and Lisa Wade. We're proposing to renovate some portions of the existing house, but at the same time, build a partial second floor. I'd like to share my screen. If you're able to see this, this is the site plan of the property, footprint of existing house, and the portion of the house where we're proposing to add the second floor. The second floor will house the family bedrooms and allowing us to free up some space on the ground floor for additional living space. Let me show you some of these plans. Here you can see the proposed second floor happening on this wing of the house. A new stairwell is being cut in. And as I said earlier, there'll be 3 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, and a laundry up there. Outside the house is currently sided with a wood board and batten, and we're proposing to replace the wood siding, which is in a state of disrepair, with a hardy panel board and batten. So it'll mimic the exact siding that's on the house currently. We're just looking to replace it with more sustainable material. I'll show you the photographs here. Here you can see the existing siding on the house. And back to the proposed. The roofing will be an architectural roof shingle. We're going to end up re-roofing the entire house as part of the renovation. It will be a charcoal blend, as I said, architectural shingle. The windows will be replaced, the majority of them. They're going to be replaced with a dark bronze or black Anderson product. So it'll be a clad product, and the siding will be white, matching what's existing on the house. The front door, most of the windows on this wing of the house will remain. It's really just this massing that we're adding. And you can see that what we're trying to do here is kind of limit the visual mass of the house by allowing the roof overhang, which is pretty extensive, to carry across. It's only broken by the dramatic light-filled stairwell that's on the first floor and second floor, as I showed you. Back of the house carries consistent. We've got some bedroom windows upstairs, existing doors and windows on the back of the house, and the side of the house, left side of the house, is basically unchanged. This is a photograph of the house just taken from, the house sits back pretty well, and it's a fairly wooded site. So I stepped onto the property to show you where the house sits currently. And this is just a quick rendering in the same view of how the second floor will be added and how the roof line will be extended across, only broken by the vertical stair tower. So that's our project. We had to go for a zoning board variance because the house is existing non-conforming, and obviously it's been through planning board.
The windows, you said you're not replacing them all, but the ones you are replacing are the same as what's there?
Correct. Well, essentially,
Same style?
yeah, they're all the same style. The house is all pictures and casement windows.
I believe there was. Did you have a window schedule on the drawings?
I did. It's on a 300 series. I don't have that open, but I can bring it up for you if you'd like to see it. Bear with me 1 second. Window schedule at the bottom of that sheet. So you can see it's a combination of casement windows, large glass patio doors, a couple of awnings, I think, in the bathroom. And I think I have the existing elevations here. You can see the existing casement window fenestrations along that front facade.
As far as materials on that hardy board, is that in the application as well?
It is, yeah. All the materials are listed on both the front on all the elevation sheets as proposed exterior materials and color scheme.
Okay.
We've been here before.
Yeah. Ready, Andy?
No.
Okay, we've heard just about enough of you.
Okay, I
I will
appreciate
make a motion. I will make a motion to approve. Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you
Thank
very
you.
much.
Thank you. Have a good evening.
You too. And we will go to ARB 22-19, 84 Fargo Lane, also in addition. Same architect? No, okay, I guess we haven't had enough. I guess we haven't had enough.
No,
It's not?
asking if it was an architect.
Oh, all right.
Good evening. How are you all doing tonight? Douglas McClure for the McCarthys, Fargo Lane. I will share my screen. Hold on 1 minute. Okay, so let's get to this is an addition on the lower floor. I'm showing here the demo plan. So some point many years ago, there was an addition done on the south side of the property, which is this part right here. And it's right now a bedroom, but it's detached from the house. The client's elder parents often use it, but they would like to connect it to the house to make it a little easier to get out of the bedroom and inside without experiencing the weather. So our proposal is, to extend extend this room out and connect it to the existing sort of breezeway, and then add a walk-in closet and a bathroom to that area. At the same time, we're proposing to pull the existing deck at the first floor, which is the entry floor, out a little farther than existing. So you can see here the existing deck comes out. Here we're taking that off and we're essentially just extending it out a couple of feet so that it's 4'9" from the stair. Right now it's almost in line with the stair. And we're also bringing it a little wider. Getting ahead of myself here. A little wider so they can do a grill area that's not covered by the deck above. I will show you what it looks like now. Come on. So this is what's there now. And essentially what we're going to do is rebuild that exact same look. This upper pergola will not change at all. This part will not change at all. But this part will just come out, a little farther and extend a little over this roof. The materials will be the same. The railings will be the same. It's all painted wood. The doors on the addition coming out to the patio will be sliding doors to match these windows. I'll show you that elevation now. Oops. So we're just essentially matching the doors that happen upstairs are all just sliding doors with no divided lights in them. And we're just matching what's there now. And that's the extent of what we're doing.
Could you show us the sides of those elevations?
The other side?
So, yeah, well, yes, the east side, how much is this going to build out?
It's coming out 4 feet. I don't 4'9", actually 4'9". I don't think I actually have a side elevation drawn because there's really no change to it. So I'm sorry, I don't have that.
What about do you have the existing, Doug?
The exist
like a rendering, like just the front of the house. I'm just curious.
The front of the house?
Yes.
Okay,
Is there anything in the pack?
There's no change to the front of the house.
Sorry.
Hold on a second.
That's okay. I just was wondering. I drove by it. I just wanted to see if
Let's see. Let me see if I can call up a photo of the front of the house. Hold on 1 second.
That's okay. We're looking at it here. That's all right. Thank you, though.
I can show you the side of the house.
Yeah, that's what we're looking at. I wanted to see from the front if you could see any of as you drive down Fargo from either direction, if you see.
Oh, you don't see this at all.
Yep. It's pretty covered.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. Randy? No. Right. Okay. Got all we need. I will make a motion to approve. Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you,
Good luck.
Doug.
Thank you very much. Have a great night. Thank you for your help.
And last but not least, we have ARB 22-20, 11 Hancock Place, exterior elevation change.
Lizette Elias here representing the clients at 11 Hancock Place. I'm gonna share my screen. So we went through planning and zoning, and now we're here for ARB approval. We are doing an outdoor kitchen over an existing patio, which will include 2 grills, a sink, and then we are proposing to have a trellis over the existing patio as well. So this is the existing patio. It's got 3 levels to it. This area pretty much is going to remain the same. And then this upper area over to the left here is where the kitchen would be. We are modifying the existing railing here so we can raise this wall to conceal the kitchen from the backside. And then we're adding some columns into the railing here to integrate with the proposed trellis. This is the elevation showing the wall of this long wall here, and then it returns on either side. These are the side elevations.
Okay.
Here's a colored rendering to show the fixtures and the materials that we're proposing to use. In addition, this is part of a bigger application that has a finished attic renovation, and we will be replacing a window to match existing up in the attic level. And the current window has this Gothic style, and so this is the front of the house. Sorry, let me just go to the back here so you can see. There will be no change to the look of the house itself because we are matching that existing window up in this area here. Otherwise, this is jumping back a little bit, I'm sorry. This is the existing patio here. So this line here is where the existing railing continues. We would be building up this wall here to conceal the kitchen in this area. And here's the columns that integrate with the railing and the proposed trellis. There's an existing trellis down here, and we hope to match it as close as possible. And here is another look at how the kitchen fits into the existing space. I can show you photos of what this looks like now, so you have an idea. This
Actually,
in this.
Go ahead.
Sorry? Can you
Go
see
ahead.
the photo that came up?
No.
No, hold on. Can you see it now?
An elevation. There you are. Yep.
So this area right here is what we're modifying at this existing patio to add the outdoor kitchen. And the trellis will go
What's
in
that?
this area.
The ra-
I'm sorry, say that again?
What's happening with the railing?
What's happening with the railing? So we are gonna match it as close as possible, but we will need to integrate some columns into it to hold the trellis above. So if I just jump back to the presentation, you'll see here we're raising the wall here where I just showed you that photo. And so we will have columns, and the columns will tie into the railing, but we plan to match the existing railing and just incorporating these columns.
So the column on the right, we'll stop at the wall, or will it go to the floor? You can't see in that.
It stops
drawing
at
that it
the-
goes over.
It stops at the wall because the kitchen is a U shape. So as it turns in, it will stop short here. So these will be 2 short columns, and then they go into full columns at the other end.
Could you go down to the trellis below? I want to see if that has.
It does.
The other day. Then you're gonna
Yeah.
emulate those columns as best you can.
Yeah. The house
Is there a
has.
reason you don't
sort of
match?
column.
There's a reason why you're not matching the other existing railings on the second floor? Why different railings? I'm just curious. That you're- the columns anyway.
So there's existing railing, and we weren't planning on touching the 2 existing decks above. And we were, because there's a lot of this railing across the whole thing, so wherever we don't need to touch it, ideally we won't.
Understood.
So I'll get you more pictures.
We didn't really see the fence going all the way around the house, which is
Yeah, so there's more metal railing than I realized.
yeah, me too. Okay.
Yeah, this whole pad, this is the driveway here, this is the end of the driveway here, and it goes down into a lower patio, then you go up into this middle patio part, and then it goes up again, and then this is the main patio. So this railing matches the entire patio area in the back.
Okay. Answer my question. Okay, I think we've answered all our questions. I will make a motion to approve. Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor? Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Have a good evening.
Thank you. Just now that we're done with our applications, just some housekeeping issues. In my meeting with the village administrator, talked about a few things. Long time coming, trying to help the applicants get through the process quicker, and in doing that, what they have proposed, and I thought it was a good idea, is to have 2 ARB members at the planning board. One would obviously be the architect, whoever we get as an architect to fill in, and the other would be another board member. And at that time, we would hope that the ARB members would chime in at the applications and during the planning board, similar to what the engineers do and what the landscape architects do. They have something to say during that process to kind of speed it along. So that's they're going to talk that over with the board of trustees to see if that works for them.
So Rick, I know this has been coming up. Which planning board meeting are you talking about? Is it like a Monday during the day or something?
No, it's always a Wednesday. It's not always. I think it was the first Wednesday of the month, Sam. Yeah.
Maybe once a month or twice.
Well, they meet twice, but once publicly.
The day meeting that you're talking about?
Yeah, no, it's the
Somebody
night
had
meeting.
mentioned
It's
to
the night
me.
meeting.
Public.
Someone had mentioned to me going to the day meeting. Okay, this was a while back.
Let's put it this way. It's not what I've heard, but that-
No,
and look,
I'm
if that's
sure you're
what-
correct, but this was a while.
that's what
ago.
the board of trustees wants. I just thought that it was a good idea. Also going to,
That's the actual meeting when they're
Yeah.
they're voting. It would
but it's
be-
not to say we always have the opportunity to see the applications. They send them to us.
I'm just wondering if it would be better to be at the other meetings. Isn't that more informative?
I don't know.
Okay.
When that comes out, when it comes, to
Yeah.
the forefront again, we can always,
Okay.
ask.
I will say, I also agree with you that it's a good idea, and we personally have certainly
Yeah.
discussed this and suggested it in the past in order to help the applicants and challenge will be getting ARB members who volunteer their time to go to yet again another meeting when we have difficulty even having ARB members at this meeting. I think the village, if they're going to do this, really has to assign us other alternate members, because I think there's going to be a process put in place where you have to decide who you can send to the planning board meeting, because it can't be you. That's a lot of work for you. I mean, if you're
Well,
going to be
they
the one that
did
goes.
say it could be an architect and the chair, or an architect and,
It's a lot for you.
Like I don't have anything else to do anyway.
Yeah. I mean, but I'm just going to say that.
Let's get to the point where they think that's a good idea, and then we can always discuss how to go about who
Who
you know, who
goes
should-
and how you go.
certainly the architect. Whoever
And
the
that's a lot,
architect
I'm just saying that's a lot for the architect.
There has to
Sorry,
be-
that's better.
is. There has to be by
Um,
village code there. At least
okay.
one.
You know, I thought so, but I just wondered if there always was.
You're talking about the planning or the? No, yes, our board. Yeah. there has to be an
our board.
architect.
Having an architect.
Is
Is there anyone left?
Yeah, but that's a lot to ask the architect to come to our meeting to also. go to the planning board.
It's gonna be an added, discussion when they do interview, potential candidates to work here. I certainly don't think whether it's the right move or not to be at the day meeting. I certainly don't think you need an architect that's gonna take a day off of work, to, at least they have to, of work, especially the full day if he works in the city, because by the time you get that meeting, it's probably.
Sure.
And then we talked about going 7 o'clock meetings, which no one on our board, had a problem with, but and there were other minor details discussed, but nothing that's,
I think that's just because we already meet more frequently than, although I guess planning board does meet twice a month.
one officially, one unofficially, right, Jen? Right, Sarah?
ARB meets probably once a month.
No,
They,
the planning board.
yes, this is the planning board meets once a month, first Wednesdays.
Is the discussion of ARB going back to 2 times a month?
I know. Well, I've
Oh,
pled my
right.
case. I don't know whether it's gonna,
Okay, I thought we were going back.
I pled my case. I don't know whether it's gonna.
Yeah, I mean, that would help the applicants as well. I would think
Yeah.
that if we're gonna
Well,
send.
certainly, I mean, Mark is of the opinion that we meet, our meetings are go to one anyway. 2 meetings a month, but
And where is the objection to 2
I
meetings?
don't know. Well, it is, I think it's probably, the building department, is not in favor of that. I think it has a lot to do with the way the days fall and whether or not they have the time to put our package together on such short notice, or it all has to do with timing of applications and that kind of stuff, but,
Well, I won't be here, as you
No.
know, to participate in this, but I will say I haven't been on this course since 2015 or whatever crazy year you and I started. 2 meetings a month is important. And I think if they're really looking to speed the process along and make this easier for the applicants and members of the community who are going to volunteer to sit on this board, we should start at 7. We should have 2 meetings a month. And if one of the members that you bring on it to participate in the planning board meeting, maybe they can do that
I
online
think
and
the
virtually.
mindset is such that with us doing our due diligence earlier in the process, that our meetings will go faster. So the one meeting a month might be palatable if in fact, I mean, I don't know.
I think we're pretty fast.
Well, we got through it tonight, a lot faster than I thought we were going to.
Yeah.
Especially with 2 additions to the house.
But tonight, when I looked at it, I thought tonight might not be so bad. I mean, other days we just know there's going to be a
Oh, yeah.
lot of questions. Well,
Okay, well, those are good updates.
yeah.
So I will make a motion to adjourn. Do I have a second? All in favor?
Right.
Thanks, everybody.